Hey everybody, this is Bo back in the lounge. Want to do a shout out to the 1.5 million listeners we have all over this great world and those military bases stationed all over the planet that make that happen. We're going to go all the way out to Savannah State University, talk to the new head football coach, Robby. Sir, thank you.
Hey, Bo, it's great to be here.
You know, Coach, one of the favorite, I looked at your resume, and one of the items that stood out was two things. One was a national championship for Furman. Second was the arena football. And I was a big arena homer. We followed them in North Carolina before they pulled out and went to Charlotte.
Right.
I think there's so much that you can bring to the table for a college team from the experience in the arena. I'm excited to see what you're going to do this year.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. I'll say this. I've got a great coaching staff, and we've got some neat kids with some talent, and hopefully, good Lord willing, Bo, we can stay healthy and make a little run at this thing.
You know, Coach, you've got such a mind for defense. It seems like every place you go, you are breaking the rules and making things better and better for yourself. When you come into a program like this, you've got seniors and juniors that have sort of grown up in the old program. Now, what is your message that you're bringing to the table from these new leaders? Because every senior class has a bunch of guys that automatically take over the leader reins and try to do exactly what the coach wants. So what is that message you're trying to, convey to them?
Well, Bo, I tell you, we've got 8 seniors on this football team. Our team is basically made up of freshmen and sophomores. We've got, last year we brought in 55 freshmen that are now sophomores, and we've got 25 brand new freshmen this year with only 8 seniors. Now, our captains are 4 seniors, and it's 4 kids that stayed up here on their own this summer and led the team in workouts, did a great job, was taking the team down to Tybee Island Beach, running in the high sand with their combat boots on, just working extremely hard trying to get this thing completely turned around.
When you hear about combat boots, a lot of us in the Midwest are thinking, yeah, it's about 65 degrees, but, I don't think it was that cool for them, and that shows a lot of energy and a lot of passion for the game of football in Savannah.
It really does. I tell you what, we got some really strong leadership with our seniors, and of course Leon Hollinger was our leading receiver last year as a junior, and this year as a senior. We're looking for great things from him again, along with Antoine Allen, the defensive leader that plays defensive back for us. So we're looking for great things from these guys.
Yeah, and as far as bringing the new guys into the program, when you got that many new guys, I see that you have cleanly shaven off your head. That's probably a good thing at times.
Well, I've kept this look now since 2001, so it's kind of worked for me, and I don't want to say that I'm superstitious, but they do say that successful people have something to be superstitious about, so I'm not letting it grow.
Now that you got the first game underway, who are the kind of the high points that have really come out in that game that either took you by surprise or reaffirmed that the fact how strong they are at their positions?
Well, Bo, one of our juniors that was here all summer working out, going down to the beach, running in the sand, doing all that stuff, is a guy by the name of Justin Babb. Justin Babb wears jersey number 20. He's our starting tailback, and he set a single-game school rushing record this past Saturday night, rushing for 229 yards on 20 carries. Right now, he's the rushing leader for the entire nation, and we're really excited about this guy.
Yeah, we saw that. Now, because of the totals he had, a lot of people assume that when he gets off that field, he's all jacked up. How tired was he when he finally got in the locker room to sit down?
Well, that game was over late Saturday night. We drove back from Greenville, South Carolina, and we got in about 4 o'clock in the morning, had to get right back up the next morning because a local church had invited our team there. He kind of slept in, and we told him, go ahead. We're going to let you sleep in on this one because we knew he was worn out.
Well, you got the total yardage of 483, so there's obviously other guys, but when you have a running back that dominant that can take over a game, it does make everything else easy.
Well, yeah, you're exactly right, but I'll say this now. The reason he got those yards is because of that offensive line play, and our offensive line coach / assistant head coach is John Montgomery, who does a great job teaching and motivating those kids.
You know, that's one position is the offensive line that I'm always stuck on. I have been in arguments for years with buddies talking about the pro circuit. You can always tell a good quarterback from a bad. The offensive line. That's it. Simple. If you can't block more than a few seconds, your quarterback is be running for his life, and his running backs are going to be looking for the locker room for some bailout.
Well, Bo, you're exactly right. If you can't win the battle up front with your linemen, you're not going to have that good a chance of winning the game.
Now, Coach, you know, and on the X's and O's side of it, when you look at the offensive line, it always comes down to fundamentals. It's not usually the strength, although that plays a part into it. It's not always about the leverage, but it's doing what is right. And for your line to hold as well as it did, you've got to have sound fundamentals. What does your your offensive line coach sort of teach those kids on what to do, and what's sort of his little trick of the trade?
Well, you know, Bo, I don't want to give away all our secrets because we do still have to play 9 more games, and I don't want anybody tuning in, but to catch any of those secrets. I will just say this: Montgomery is a little unorthodox with some of the things that he does as far as getting his offensive line to play. But I'll tell you this: he's old school, and he gets it done. This guy's been around. He coached with Jackie Sherrill when he was at Texas A&M, and on that staff was Bob Davie, who went on to be the head coach of Notre Dame, and Curly Hallman, that went on to be the head coach at LSU, and of course R.C. Slocum, that eventually became the head coach at Texas A&M. This guy's been around, so he knows his stuff.
You know, Coach, I love hearing about I could go talk about offensive linemen all day long on what they do, how they protect, the movement, the push. It's one of those underrated positions that you never hear about on TV, but in every locker room, they're the guys that stand out by far, that protect the quarterback, the running back, and makes the receivers' lives a lot easier.
Bo, you're so right. And, you know, from day one when we had our opening season press conference, I took every one of those offensive and defensive linemen to the press conference with me, simply because I wanted everybody to understand that in order for us to have success this year, it was going to have to come from those guys.
Hey, Coach, I want to say thank you for showing up. We do appreciate it. We're going to ask if we can give you another call in about a month to check on some more status.
Absolutely. And, Bo, before we hang up, can I just give a shout-out to all the military personnel around the country and across the world, too. You guys do a great job, and God bless you all.
Absolutely. Savannah State University head football coach Robby Wells, and we'll forward that on to everybody. Thanks so much, Coach, and you have yourself a good day, and hoorah for this weekend.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome, Coach. Thank you. We're off the